Hello, everybody in YouTube. Alexander Smith coming at ya. No, I don't know what to do, what to do, what to do. I don't know what to do, what to do, what to do. I'm actually just waiting for. I'm actually just waiting for people coming in to the chat. That's what I'm basically waiting for because, as the title says, I am going to do a mail call live, and I'm hoping that everybody decides to, or some people decide to join the panel, and we can chat about things if he's like, and also I can do the mail call as a dedicated shout out, but there's no point if there is nobody here. I'm alright, Dale. I don't really have much to talk about at the moment because, as in, I sort of, I don't know how you put it. If I was to explain it, I would say I get my good days and I get my bad days. And usually when I get my bad days, I can't be bothered. But I have been tidying up, and the reason why I'm sitting on an angle is because the phones, or the, as they call them in America, the cell phones are basically took over the room, and they've also took over my chair that I'm sitting on because it is stowed unpacked. Exactly, Dale. That's what it is. Exactly. You're right. You need the downtime. Exactly. I've been trying to organise stuff and get stuff ready, and end up with, what happens is you get maybe a job lot of phones in, and then end up I've got the guy that, as in, that I buy stuff off of, as in my source, he's constantly dinging me on Messenger, and I'm like, for Pete's sake, I can't get as in this other stuff done. But I just thought I'd do a mail call tonight because the mail call is for one for Rose Dragon, and we have one from Carrie Baxter, which Carrie is doing. Carrie is actually doing the mail for Found It Buried. So that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to give them a shout out, as in do a live mail call and do a shout out for the both of them, and let you to see what was in them, because what I've done is I've only just opened the top so that basically we weren't finger and thumbs about. Because I sometimes I'll go on sometimes I'll go on panel, sometimes I'm not. And what I wanted to talk about is, if anybody would like, when I send a sticker out, I usually put a coin or something in it so that you know what the channel's about. But the ones I've got now, as in which I've got a few or some, I've not got a lot left. But what I was going to say is, if anybody wants to, if they go on Redbubble, they can either buy a postcard, or they can buy a sticker, as in it's very much like that, but except it's actually, that one's no, I've not got any of them left, but this is one that's been dog eaten. It'll look like that from Redbubble. I think a pound. I don't know how much the postage is. I can't quote you about how much it'll cost you in postage, but I know they're definitely about a pound a piece, because it's Hi-Ho Silver that done. Hi-Ho Silver tried to copy that, but we couldn't copy it as good. Hi, David. As in they copied because he couldn't get the exact one of the ship. So if anybody likes, as in, or they don't want anything from me or whatever, or they can't wait until they get it, you can go on Redbubble and you can buy a sticker or a postcard, because I do send them as in inside the package. You usually do two stickers. I need to start as in calm it down a bit, because I've not got many left, until I try and see if I can get an order or try and get a printer, somebody that's a printer to do the job properly. Or I'll need to go back to SMAC. But SMAC took so long in sending them, as in I was so long in the queue, but I know how busy he is. I understand that. But I didn't want to talk about that. Hi Ian. If anybody wants to join the panel, they can join the panel. That's why I've got a star, an asterisk, or a star against that, as in that StreamYard, because that is the link. Because I don't like basically keep clicking it, as in keep clicking it all the time. I'm trying to understand how to pin stuff, as in what a lot of people do is pin it to the top. I'm not sure if it's actually pinned to the top when you do the asterisks or not, as in the star against it. But I put a star against it so people know that's the chat, because they can come on panel. I've never said that you can't come on panel. Everybody's welcome. As long as I know you, as in like Ian, I know, David, I know, Cornwald, I know. It's people that I know that, or they can be vouched for and say, I know that person, because I don't want drama on the channel. I don't want the drama mamas on the channel. I don't want the bish bashing of people. That's fine, Ian. I know what you're like when you get in that shed. It's just because I haven't done a live stream for ages. I just got this stuff in. If I don't do it, I got it in yesterday. If I don't do it, as in within a couple of days, it'll either get forgotten or it'll get put in stuff. It'll get mixed up, and then it'll never get done. I like doing the mail calls because it helps the other channels, because the whole idea of YouTube is, okay, it's called YouTube because it's about you, about the person that's hosting it. But I don't agree with that, because I only host it. Without yous guys, there wouldn't be a channel. So because yous have made the channel the way it is, I then say, well, yous call the shots. And if you put an idea to me and say, look, I come up with this idea, exactly, David, that's what I'm saying, but that's the whole idea, is to grow the full family. It's not just to keep it as in one person, because to me that feels selfish, as not doing it. That's why I don't do sub for sub. I do it as in that I do the mail calls. The mail calls are done. Hi Jimmy. Hi Jimmy C. The mail calls are done as a way of shout out, as a thank you for, as in I got your stuff. Oh, they'll even know that I paid for it because that's what I put in the description. I don't get.
What? You don't want to trust me? Hello, Alex. I'm just going to have a quick few minutes with you before I try and tattle this shit in the shed.
Do you ever think you'll get finished it the way you thought you were going to finish it so many years ago?
I'll only be able to finish this when I've retired and I don't have to go to work, and I can eat this elephant every day.
Because I remember seeing you as you sort of were starting that you started pulling boxes out when I first joined your channel. I started supporting you, and then all of a sudden you put this blanket up to say let's forget about this.
I think, yeah, out of sight, out of mind, as they say.
Exactly.
Hello, Jimmy C.
Because I'm a bit of a hoarder as well. Like that, I'm a bit of a hoarder as well. But I tend to be phones. It's always been phones and something else. But because I'm doing 2 projects at the moment, I've been holding the coins back, because I need to get organised the coins to find out what I want to keep and what I don't want to keep. Because the whole idea was to get doublers and then give them away to other people. But then I started thinking, well, I'm paying for the shipping costs and that. I'm only getting a benefit in. I don't work full time, so I don't have a regular income coming in. So I've got to depend on the money that I get. And I was like, well, how am I going to pay for this? How am I going to pay for shipping and all the rest of them if I've got to pull it in my own pocket? I'm going to have to subsidise it some way. And I was like, well, do I go back to the phones? Because I did well with the phones. Don't get me wrong.
Stick to what you know.
I didn't make profit with it. I never done it. I never done phones for to profit out of phones. I do it as a labour of love. I fix stuff up, or I buy stuff that's untested, get it ready, put it. My quality's superb. My dad was a thing for, see if my dad was doing up a vehicle. You buy a vehicle for maybe £50 or whatever, or go to the auction, buy a car at the auction that was tatty, do it up, get most of his money back at it. If you got a wee bit of profit on it, he was quite happy. That's the way I've worked all my life. But I put it as quality. I don't put shite out. If it's no good, if it doesn't pass my standard, Dean, I don't put it out. I'm like, no, it's no good. It's no good. It'll get put in a box or it'll get used for parts.
Well,
because I don't want comebacks.
You need to build a name for quality, And at the same time, if you're building a name for quality, you've got to put your prices up so people know they're buying quality. If your prices are cheap, people will think you're cheap.
It's the way the punters understand it, or the customers understand that they're either something's either, if it's too, as you said, if it's too cheap, they think something's wrong with it or something's not right with it. Plus also they think, well, is it a bargain really? Is it what I want to actually buy? Have I got confidence in that product and buying it in the first place? Because you know what eBay's like. eBay's a place that you bid on.
It's like when I make my wood burners, Alex, they're cheap because all my materials are free and I don't mind passing that on to people. And I get people asking me, why are they so cheap? And I say, because I only need to make the money I make for making it. All my materials are free. I could charge more. But they do say, oh, well, I'm not so certain and all this. And I look, you can't break it. Buy it, take it away. If you don't like it, I'll give you your money back.
I'm the same with phones. If I sell something to somebody and I put it as used and a customer then messages me, as long as they don't, I hate this negative feedback. I'd rather them message me and say, look, I've got this thing off you. It's not 100%. I'm not happy with it. Explain that I'm not happy about that, and then I can accommodate it and say, well, look, it was here my mistake, made a mistake. But I always make sure that I would, if they're going to return the product, I either send them a replacement. If they don't want a replacement, they get their money. What I do is I give them the money that they've paid for it, and also the postage that they first paid for it, because I don't pay for the returns. They have to pay for the returns back to me. Alex. So they lose maybe say £4 or £5, but again, the 15 or 20 quid back that they first paid out, and it stops all the bad feedback, because to me, that my feedback, that stands for itself. That's its own reputation. But the person I feel pity for, or I wouldn't say pity, I feel pity for him, I feel sorry for him, is Ricky D. Ricky was doing smokers, now he's not. His daughter was doing Locky Looms. He uses Locky Looms. He's now doing, as in like pram blankets and
I've seen them. The
blankets. I didn't know he was doing it. It was something. I looked at Locky Looms.
Excellent workmanship.
Yeah, even his smokers, they are something else when you see the stuff coming out of them.
You can do your blankets inside, watching the telly on the settee. Smokers you've got to do outside, and this over winter it's not a good place. And he weren't really set up. He's working in his back garden.
The thing was, there was a person that kept putting him down and kept saying to him, they're not the best of quality, they're this and that, and giving him a bad name. And Ricky's like, I've had enough. He's like, and they weren't selling as in the way that he would like them to sell, as in for the price that he was asking for them. But he does a beautiful job, and then he had problems with like trying to get oxygen for the welder and all the rest. And he was always through it and everything.
So that's the difference. You see, I make my wood burners. I don't advertise. Well, once at the beginning of the year, and if people want to buy, people come to me, and they say, my mates had one off you. I think they're great. I'll buy one. But I work for a living. I don't have to do all that to make a wage every week. So if I don't want to make one that weekend, I don't have to. Now, that's the trouble with Ricky. He didn't have a full-time job. He's self-employed, should I say?
Exactly.
He's self-employed, and that way, you've always got to keep.
That's the thing, guys, and I'm sort of tearful now when we're talking about it, Ian, because I like the man. I have a lot of time for Ricky, and when I see
I've helped him out. I managed to get put him into contact with people who can buy things. He can buy things. I've sent things up there. Yeah, but the distance, I could help him so much if he was so much closer.
Exactly.
I've still got your things here, Alex.
I know, I've seen it, and I was like, I know what that is, and I was like, I could use that.
Well, you can have it. I'm still trying to find it. Buried in this pile of something.
It was George that said about an RG. He says
it's near this, so that's coming to you if it's any use to you. But it's got a little dint in the. Now that's a plastic covering, so it's not a mark on the actual screen. Can you see that?
The iPhones, you can get better money for them. But I just get them. I give scrap value because I've got to.
You can't give more than free, can you? No use to me.
I don't mind paying.
No, you're not paying for anything, Alex.
I'm one of these people. I'm quite happy to pay postage or help somebody out or give something to somebody and say, there you go. They're a £5, they're a £10 or whatever. That's what I can afford to give you.
Anyway, it's with that circuit board holder somewhere round here, which I will be sending you soon. As you know, I'm not the best at sending things. Oops.
I don't need it that quickly. But it was when George says about an RJ. He says to me, well, me and George are talking.
I'm just going to put some wood out fire. Carry on talking.
I get pally with this guy George, and he's got a YouTube channel, and he's called Vintage Phones Archive. But he was also on eBay, and I seen unlocking boxes. George saw them as well. I bought a couple. George bought a lot, and I was saying to George about a dolphin clip or whatever, and he says, "You don't need a dolphin clip." He says, "What are you using it for?" He says, "Well, I'm needing it for the older Nokias." He goes, "You'll know." He says, "You'll have a hard job finding it." He says, "But I'll tell you something else." He goes, "If you get an RJ45 cable."
I've got one of them for you. I've got several for you.
Aye, but I saw you'd cut both.
No, I've changed my mind. I've got you some which are. I found it anyway. Then you mentioned the RJ45. I get a lot of these, Alex. A lot of these. So they're quite long.
I was only bothered as long as one end had the connector block still on it.
So these are like 9 foot long, 3 meters. So I'm putting a couple of those in the post for you, and then you can cut your own end off.
I know.
And then of course I have got that for you, which I said I'll send to you.
I knew straight away that was a jig board. It holds the PCB boards on. Weird.
I know I'm a bit slow in sending things out, but you'll get it this year, promise.
At least you're getting. At least you're making a start on that shed. You're getting somewhere. You're getting somewhere.
There's another one for you. Yeah, it's all work in progress. Work in progress.
And then you done the video on the stripper. Did you not get an automatic one? Did you not get sent an automatic one or promised an automatic one? Stripper.
I was promised one, but people don't always send what they promise.
I know.
I always send what I promise. It just sometimes it takes a long time.
Aye.
Sea Mint Surfer says this year, lol. Well, he mustn't know me, Alex. There's people waiting for stickers for 3 years. But I'll get there, don't worry.
But see, the thing is, I'm not consistent enough with the videos. And I think that's what lets the channel down slightly, because the whole idea of the wheel and all the rest was going to be put on a Friday, was going to be more consistent. And then I sort of got unorganised in the room, and then my mum was on it, and then I've took over the other room, as in some now I've got 2 rooms as in full of stuff, and she's like that.
Look what Jimmy C's put down there.
I know my sticker took 2 years.
Sorry, Jimmy, you got yours quick. It's like the video I'll be putting up tonight. It basically starts off by saying, "I'm sorry, I don't really have any content for you tonight," and then I just go off waffling about things. So it's hard. It's hard to keep finding content.
No, that's why because I've just had a notification that the Durbins have went live as in the auction. So there's like Monday, Wednesday, and Friday as in Joe Durbin auctions, as in for coins. So a lot of the people that are coin related that are support this channel end up go over there. So I've got to time it right before they come on to do a lot of things.
Yeah, well, you've got to appeal to your I don't want to say market. You've got to appeal to your niche. You know what I mean? I don't do live streams anymore. Very, very rarely. So I'll just go on scrapping Irish for half an hour every Sunday.
But I think the reason why your numbers went up was because there was I think I know where, as in about three things that probably done it. Was the one you said about the 12-year-old, which they construed was about children, which wasn't. Exactly, was about the whiskey. The other one was when you fell off a chair, went flying on a chair. I think that also done it. And the one with the black. Do you remember the you were going to some kind of event and you had a black leather coat on, and you done a video before you went to the party or wherever you were going to? I think because it looked like Don Mafia. That time when I think that's when you shot up the numbers.
I don't know. I think people watch to just see if I'm ever going to clear my shed out. They just come on every week just to say, has he done any more yet? They don't realise that that's actually a green screen behind me.
No, it's not because I envy somebody that's done well. It's not that I'm jealous of anybody. But when I see the numbers going up like that, I'm thinking, what did he do that I haven't done? That maybe could shoot my numbers up. But the real reason why I done the 1,000 or tried to get to the 1,000 was because I didn't want to get left behind with the rest of the crew that was originally with Hazy Days and New Dizzy 1969. But I had to have some kind of content to put to the chat for the channel itself.
No. It's like I did a video. I commented on a video the other day. It was Scrap and Pallet Man. He's been going about 5-6 years. Wow, he's like 227,000 subscribers. But I put this comment in, and he actually knew who I was. Said, "Whoa," said something very nice about me. And I'm like, wow, I didn't think he knew who I was. But what's he doing to get 227,000 that I'm not doing? You just don't know, do you?
It's like a niche or a market you find, and it's the right thing that you enjoy. So you'd end up, as you said, like you first said with the channel, it was only to show a few friends. So you did it because you enjoy doing the scrapping or whatever in the shed. So you decided to show videos of the footage of you doing it in the shed. And obviously it's obviously worked for you. So
yeah, that came about because don't forget I started with a group of metal workers, metal artists.
Correct.
And every week they were making things, and I couldn't keep up with them. It's like I'm not very.
You were part of a channel. You were part of a channel and made out the Fall Guy. Yeah. I started watching your videos, and somebody else thought that I was going to create as in nasty content or as in start problems with a certain channel.
Yeah, I know.
You left there and went elsewhere where there wasn't any drama at all.
Yeah, so I couldn't keep up with doing metal work every week, making something, welding something, creating something.
Because I watch Guido. I watch Guido's channel. I like Guido.
It gone out wrong. So there's a girl called Pooh's Mate.
Uh-huh.
And she said, well, what do you do when you don't do that? And I'm like, I scrap. Sorry, I said I scrap. And she said, do videos on scrapping. The massive which is what I did. Oh, Jimmy, you make me laugh. Oh, that went down wrong goal, that one. Sorry, Alex.
No, you're fine. No, I've always had an open panel. I've never ever said nobody can come up in the panel, but I've got to know them or somebody that can vouch for them and say that's such and such. That person's fine.
I've never had anyone bad up on my channel, but what I don't like is people coming up on the channel and then just sitting in the corner and not saying anything all the way through. Well, why are you on? Why come up if you're just going to sit there and don't do anything?
That's what you call a lurker. And what you do is if you say something about, say for instance, we were talking about somebody, and say for instance, I disagreed with what you said, they'll go away and tell that. They would go away and tell that person, or they would email and say, by the way, such and such is on right now, and they're talking about such and such, or they're talking about you and somebody else.
Well, that's where you've got to be a strong person and say, if I'm going to say it on here, I'll say it to your face as well.
Exactly.
I won't talk behind your back. I'll say it right to you, in front of your face as well. So, there you go. Alex, I'm going to have to go, although I'm just going to keep coughing and coughing and coughing. Not going. When I get these coughing fits, it just carries on. Alex, thanks for having me up.
You're welcome.
My eyes are watering now. I'm crying because of the wonderful comments you've come out with. I'll carry on listening. Bye, Jimmy. See you later, Alex.
Bye. If anybody else wants to come up and panel, they can. We can actually have 6 people on. But we've all got to sort of take our turns, take our turn to talk, because there's actually 4 people, and as I said, a notification popped up, and there's a live auction on. So a lot of them all have decided, well, we'll go and piss off and we'll go there. But then what'll happen is they'll come back and forward, back and forward, back and forward, back and forward. Ian says he died of a coughing fit. No, because I am going to show these. I just didn't want to keep having to show them as in back and forward. Because this one's comfy. This one, as I said, came for Carrie Baxter. And Carrie Baxter's actually doing the outside mail for, if it's not in George's district, George is sending it over to Carrie Baxter, and then Carrie Baxter eventually is shipping George's mail out. And probably what this will be. It'll probably as in from George. So I've only opened it so I didn't have to kerfuddle about and try and rip it open, because sometimes it's a hard job trying to get them open, because their tape over in the USA is different to our tape in the UK. It's like thick, and I'm talking about thick tape. It's like more like plastic. But what we'll do is we'll do these 2 mail calls and probably eventually shut it down. So what we'll do is I want to show you guys what it is, and I want to see if there's a letter or nope. 2 pieces of plain paper, obviously, so it didn't fall out. And it doesn't say who it's from, so I would presume it's from George, or it could be from maybe it's Vicari, I don't know. But I would say it was more from. It's got to be because I've got stuff in order. I paid for it, and I'm still owed it from George, which has found it buried. But I know that Carrie's doing the mail calls, or doing not the mail calls. She's doing the shipping for George. So obviously George is sending it to her, and that's why they're putting it out. This one says it's actually from Mike. It says it's basically got a thank you card. So it's got a thank you card, and it says thank you, and then it says that's Mike Panici's. So it's actually Mike from Mike through Carrie, and it says thank you for participating in my giveaways. Congrats on your win, Mike Panici. So it's actually, this one would be for Mike Peachy. And we'll see what the coin actually is, because that's what the channel's all about. See, I do phones on behind the scenes, because I'm thinking, well, probably nobody's interested in it. Actually, me doing the fixing and all the rest. And hopefully we can get it out, because I can't even get it out. Because there's actually 3. So we've got. There's actually 2. So we've got the 5 cents, and it's USA 1943, and then it says, as you can see there, or on this opposite side, it says that's 35% silver, and there's, it's not bad shape, that coin. Let's put it up the right way. So there's the P. As you can see, the P is on the top, because 1943 was World War, so they actually changed the coins because they were using the copper back then, or the silver. So it's 1943, and there it's there. But as I said, the P was, it actually changed. They changed the mint marking after later on. They changed the mint marking. There's David back because he sees coins. He's like, oh, he's got coins. Oh, now we're interested. And there's the other one, which is that says 0.8. So that'll be roughly probably 80%, I would reckon. Exactly, David. The nickel was needed. Exactly. And there's the. It's not bad. It's not in bad shape. That's the one with the ships on it. And that's the That's a 10 cents. That's I always get mixed up. So Mike said about as in he basically send him a link. So I'll need to say to him that I done a mail call for him and it's on a live stream. Because Mike says to basically give him the link if anybody did one from. And I didn't know what was in it. I thought it was Georgie's stuff, but it wasn't. That's Mike Puccini's. So if you haven't got Mike Puccini's, as in please subscribe to Mike Puccini, which he sometimes is on Found It Buried's panel. And the other one we're going to do is a mail call or a live stream, which we're going to do for I can't show it because it's got a address on it. Is for Rose Dragon, which Rose was on Georgie's stream, and she was selling some of her stuff off because obviously needing funds, and I happened to come in and I actually bought some of the stuff, and I thought I'll show you guys what I actually eventually got. But it wasn't cheap, this stuff. It was like about $30 or $40. So I spent quite a considerable amount. Hi Andrew, I should have messaged you, Andrew, and said that I was going to go live. I try to do it in between, because there's Rose Dragon's channel. So if you look for here, that emblem, and there's another one, which is Rose Dragon's channel. So that's Rosie's, because she's done a really good job at it. She's done a really good job. She's done well. I'm proud. There's the cost. There's the cost of what it was. It's $18.90. So she says you'll need to charge $15 for shipping. And this is what I got. So I've got uh 2005 silver 25 cents Kansas. That's proof 69 ultra cameo, because it was at auction. I can't remember what I paid for that. And then I think I got three silvers I got. 3 silvers and a copper. I think 3 silvers and a copper. I think I got. So there's it's bagged up. Because that was the whole idea. I was like, well, what can we use for? I was like, well, what can I buy? What can I buy if I'm going to do the wheel, right? Because the whole idea was on the wheel, and I thought, I don't want to start doing spots or whatever. I always say, if anybody wants to donate, they can donate as little as they like or as much as they like. It's not compulsory to do it. I'm saying that right now. Not compulsory to do it. If you just want to help, that's fine. I'll be quite grateful for the help. pay into the PayPal account and we put it into the shipping pot fund. And basically, when we do the wheel, you'll always be guaranteed you'll get something. You might not win the first place, but you'll get as in a minimum prize, because that's the whole idea with the 1 to 12. So he's basically, and I was like, well, what can I give for the first? What can I get for the first prizes? And I was like, right, let's think about this. Not the single coins. What about if we were to get slabs and maybe have to pay between 12 to maybe 30, sort of $40 worth? And that was the whole idea behind it. Oh, somebody's got eyes. Somebody dinged. And I'm like, I bet you I know who it was. This one's actually starting to tone, and it's actually supposed to be, so it's starting to actually tone, which is it's actually a shame. It's actually starting to tone. That's a shame on that. It's the only bit that spoils that. That's a Kennedy half, 1964. But it says on it, as you can see, it says down on it, 999 silver. But it's starting to tone, and it's starting to go like a, I don't know if it's a brown or a black, a brown or a black. It's starting to just tone on the rim, and it's a shame about that coin. But I actually wanted to help, and then there's a, because I actually found out that a lot of them, even though that it's got the maple leaf on one side, they've actually got different dates on them. They're actually different year dates on them, because that's 2014, that one, although it's got Canadian maple leaf on it. Oh, Andrew, I never stop buying, but the money's starting to and I'm like, I need to sort of, and then Mum's like, how many more boxes? How many more? As soon as I see about another box, she's like, how many more boxes are coming in here? When the hell are you going to do more? I'll figure it out. Don't worry, I'll figure it. Because there's the copper rounds, because they're actually starting to appreciate as in value, as in the money for them. The copper rounds. I'm like, there's only 3 there, and I was like, did I not get 4? Unless I paid, probably, I don't know. I'm just taking it, hopefully, that she sent everything that was paid for. And there's one that I really like. I might end up keeping this one, because I'm keeping. If I'm going to keep, I'm keeping the tiger. I'm keeping the tiger, but I like this one too, because when I spotted it, I was like, I like that. When I saw what was on the and Kusa, a lion on it. That's like Scottsdale lion. It's on that. I never touch. Anytime that I go and start playing with coins, I end up put surgical gloves on. I'd never ever touch as in the fascias or coins, not even out a roll. If I'm going to pull it out a roll, news layout, press shift and +5. I don't know how to do that. But I let Rose Dragon know that I got the stuff. Just hopefully everything was sent that was actually bought or purchased. Because sometimes I even forget how many I've actually got. See, the reason why I like the Durbin's auctions is because everything is invoiced. Because that's what I said to Cheapskate. It's not his fault. On PayPal, they've changed it. And all it does is give you how much you actually owe, the balance. And I says to him, I don't know what I've actually bought or what I've actually got. Can you actually give me an invoice sheet where I can see everything that I purchased and exactly how much I paid for each item? Cheapskate's like, that's fine, that's not a problem, I'll send you an email. Because it's not that I don't trust you, I just want to double check it. Maybe there's a figure in it that's not either right, or you thought that I did put my hand up for it and maybe that somebody else got it in there first. Because Cheapskates, it's always been BIN. And the Durbins, it's totally different. But I like the way the Durbins do everything because it's all invoiced, as in everything's invoiced individually. So you can actually see everything that you've purchased. So you can't turn around and say, well, I didn't get this, I didn't get that. It's so invoiced there. They invoice it, they put it in your basket, and then eventually, because I have got a brand new box of the Durbins, but I'm not opening the boxes until I either tidy up the room next door or this room, because I can't get in or out as in this room. And people's like, well, why are you sleeping in this? Why are you sleeping in the room? Because this is my room, always has been. Because that room was supposed to be a spare room. But then I thought, one day in particular, I want to put a table. I want to put a table and display the stuff so people can see it here and say, that's a lovely spread you've got, or the way you've done that, you've done it beautifully as in the way it's presented. Because I like showing things to other people. It's not because I like boasting to other people, oh, look what I've got and look what much have I got. It's not a case of that. I like the idea of seeing other people's stuff and going, well, I don't have that one or I don't have that one, but that's nice. Would you ever think about selling it? Andrew, I know exactly what you would be up to, what you'd be looking for. You'd be wondering, well, is he going to sell that? Is he going to sell this? Or is that one? How much is that? I like that one. I know what you want. I know. I appreciate you saying about that. Give me a hand. I would be glad of the hand, really, to be honest. But I know what you'd be like as soon as you seen stuff that you liked. Oh, I like that. Can I get? It'll be. Can I get that? Or can we trade? Or can we trade for? I've got this down the road, and then it'll be showing pictures. Look in the phone. Look, I've got that. Do you fancy ding with that for that? Because that was the whole idea. I was like, well, why don't we do? If we're doing a trade and swap, why don't we do it for similar value? Not as in what retail value, not going in what retail value is. It's what somebody's willing to pay for that. If somebody says to you, well, I can give you £2 or a £5 for this, or 12 for that, 15 for that. I love a good, my old man. The reason why I loved car boot sales because he loved a haggle, but he had a thing about rummaging in boxes, and I don't know many things he found in boxes that other people thought weren't there. And my old man's like, he didn't see that bit, he didn't see this bit, and he's like, how much is that? And then you can see the guy or the woman going, give me £3 for that. He knew it was worth more. It wasn't as if he was ripping people off or ripping the whole of it. He gave them what they asked for it. So he's like, well, I gave you what you asked for it. That's what you said. You said when it comes out of somebody's mouth, you can't renege back. And it's like me saying to Andrew, and Andrew saying, much as that silver bit or that silver coin, and I go, it's 45. If he's not happy with the price, I go, I'm not sure about it. And I'll go, well, let's talk about it later. But then I might have paid a bit strong for it to get it in the first place, because they've seen me paying a wee bit extra to get stuff, because I'm like, well, I really like that. I'd really like to own that. I'd really like to see it. Because as I said to my source with phones just recently, I say, I'm going to be more harder with you. Told him the other day, I'm going to be more harder with you. So the reason why, because there's a lot of stuff, the last 2 boxes that need repairing. And I says, I'm not going to get my money back, and I'm going to have to do a lot of work. Hi, Zolander. I'm going to have to do a lot of work to get it right before I even sell it. And I gave him good money for it. And I says to him, a picture, as my man used to say, a picture can be deceiving. You don't see it close up. You could see it from 10 foot away. And you go, that item's fine. And then when you get it in hand, you go, that item's not as good as what I thought it was. But usually I tend to buy off of people that I feel that I can trust, or I feel that I'm getting a bargain, or they're giving a service. I'm like, he's doing it. He's been honest about things. He's been honest. He's been truthful about it. But it's when you start hiding stuff away or take pictures 10 foot away and all that, Karen. And moment, trade a picture can be deceiving, and that's why a lot of people go. It's like going and viewing a car. They'll go and view it. They'll see a picture and go, right, I really like that car. They'll ask a lot certain questions about that car, then say, can I come and see the car? Where's the car located? Well, it's the same with an item. But the thing is, a lot of items can be sent through post. But the reason why people buy stuff off of eBay is because they have a buyer protection. If they're not happy with something, they can send it back and get their money back. But trade don't do that. Trade of this thing, it's sold as seen. So you're buying it at trade, everything trade, sold as seen. So if you say 70 or 80 quid, you're down that 70 or 80 pound, you've got to pull that back out the bag and try and get your money back for it without making profit. So I've got cracked ones with cracked screens and that. So I've got to put a screen in it. I put battery, check it's working, I got to do a lot of checks on stuff before it even goes up for sale on eBay. But I've got like 8 boxes worth of phones. I've got now probably in the region of there's a box in here that was originally for Lemonhead. I don't want to, because a lot of people are like, Lemonhead to ring me, and then it ends up with there's a lot of things that happened to the last bit of the Lemonhead and all the rest. That's my adult. I says, right, we'll not talk about stuff that we don't need to mention, because some people are not 100% happy, some people are. But the thing was, I was only buying stuff off them. I wasn't getting nothing for free. I was buying it as a trade purchase, as an A. Be able to give stuff away, do bits and pieces, whatever else. Because I'm not a person that does SOR stock. I've never done it in my life. I don't have a bank loan, so I don't owe the bank any money. It's all the money that I get, my income that comes in. I don't work full time, so I've got to find other means to either sell it or get some of my money back and put it into other stock. And that's the whole idea behind it. But I didn't want to be selling coins on eBay. I don't want to have to do that. I might have to. I don't know yet. And I'm just explaining in case it does happen. But I do phones on eBay, and I always have done phones. I do mobile phones, digital cameras, handheld electronics like DS's, stuff like that. Anything I can get that's half decent, that's cheap enough that I can buy, I'll put my hand to it. And I did a good spread on eBay. I always have done. I've very rarely have people that are unhappy with the items they've received. Last year, I sold 2 listings, and that was it. And I was like, I'm not doing something. There's something I'm not doing right. I had 3 potential clients that came to me, messaged me, and said, "Does that phone come with a charger?" And I felt I had to put them off and say, "No, it doesn't come with a charger." Somebody says, "Well, why didn't you state that in your listing?" So what I've done is I've actually went out and purchased used genuine, and I'm talking about good quality chargers for to go with phones. And I've spent a lot of money on the project, and I don't usually talk about it, but that's why there's been not a lot of content recently, because I'm trying to organise it, because Mum has got this thing that she hates stuff on a floor. It drives her mental. And I'm like, okay, if this is what's driving you. She didn't say nothing about it. I heard her huffing and puffing, and I thought, what is wrong? I thought something's not right, but she doesn't know what to say about it. I says, what is the problem? What is bothering you? I goes, because I don't want any friction in here. I says, if it's because of me, I would rather walk out or find somewhere else to live. She went, no, it's not that. I said, well, what is it then? She went, that hall. And I went, I know about it. She went, because it's on the floor. She goes, I hate seeing things on the floor. So that room is now, and I'm talking, it's full nearly. And there's a bit of walkway, and it's on boxes, and I need to start I've organised it, but I need to start listing it on eBay, and that's the part I hate, is doing the pictures, then I've got to do a description, but I tried to enroll her in, and she was quite happy doing an administration, but she wasn't too confident with doing the pictures, and she says, well, can you do the pictures? And I thought, this is no, you don't really want to do this. I can tell you don't want to do this. And I was like, instead of us having an argument about it, I says, it's fine. I've done it myself. So I sort of went, right, I need to start doing this. And that's why you haven't seen a lot of content, coins or whatever, because I could take stuff out of boxes and start showing you coins, or put it up in the microscope and do exactly the same as Coinwalder's doing, as in do one every week. But I'm like, does people actually like that content? I'm trying to do things that we all enjoy. It's not just a case of me doing it, because it's like going to, I'm just going to make an example, right? I like Oz a lot, Ozart. But when you go over to Ozart's channel, he's more doing gaming than anything else. And when Oz gets into the gaming part of it, he's more concentrating on the game than what he is in the chat. And the only thing is, we can't join in when he's playing that game unless you've got an Xbox or a PlayStation and actually do it through Discord as to join up to him. So you can only watch what he's doing and then try and put in chat where you think that game, if you know about that game, or where he's got to shoot and where he's got to go and all the rest, because that's what he's hoping that you do. But I like Oz and I support Oz, but I don't always go over his channel because he's sometimes doing gaming or I see gaming up, and I'm like, don't really enjoy that. I enjoy it because he's playing the game. I like to say hello so that he doesn't feel as if he's on his own, because I noticed that he'd been putting, I can't, and when somebody puts stuff on their community tab or puts something up on their timeline, I can't see that on the tablet. I can see it on the phone. So I've got a different account on the phone for another YouTube channel. And I started seeing things, and I'm like, he feels as if he's on his own. As no, that's the way he feels, because nobody's coming to the channel. So he's thinking, well, what's the point of doing this content or that content? And I totally get it. I totally get how a creator, it's like somebody writing a book and you've got to be engrossed in that story. So there's got to be a start, a middle, and an ending. And there's the only time that you like a book is if it appeals to you and really captures you into reading that book, to read the whole of the book. So basically that's like a creator, as in putting a video out there. He's hoping that you enjoy that and many other people enjoy that, so that the more viewings that people see that. Because I've watched it many times on YouTube, and I found out now it's on Prime. It's actually on Prime's app. Banger Boys, or that's what it's called, Banger Boys, and it's about this dreamers or something they call themselves, as in the person or the company. It's called Dreamers, but it's a guy, and there's Flip, Steve, Mark, and one they call Big Hoss. But the only time that Prime took that is when the viewings went up, and that's when they took it, as in they put it onto their app Prime. Because Amazon belongs to actually Prime, or is Prime. Because that's the whole idea of showing you guys these coins, as and so you saw them. So it was like a mail call. Because that was the whole idea. But as I said, there's only one watching now, and there's like, I know that Ali Mac was supposed to go at 8 o'clock, start at 8 o'clock, and I know that I'm grateful for David coming over, but I know usually a lot of them are sitting on the Durbans, because I noticed that the notification come up for the Durbans, and I'm not trying to chase these away, but I know that that's where most of these will be hanging about, as in the Durbans auction. That's not that package. That's not that one. That's Rosebuds. That's Rose Dragon. Of course, Andrew, Durbans are on Monday, Wednesday, and a Friday. So they do three auctions per week. And then they always do, you get the early bird. They started doing the early bird GAW mainly at the start, usually around about the start of the auction. And then you've got the thing with the GAWs at the end of the auction, but you're only allowed to do one letter of the alphabet. You're only allowed one shot at it. But just even you don't win, just keep doing it constantly. Just keep doing it every time they come on, and you're there. That's the 3 days that they do it: Monday, Wednesday, and a Friday. This week, guys, and there was no auction, I think, on the Monday. I can't remember if there was one on the Wednesday. I think I was in the one on the Wednesday because I slipped in, but I went away because I was like, well, if I stay too long, I'm not going to end up bidding for stuff. I just didn't have the money. I've got a certain cut-off point where I've got enough of my savings, and I go, right, enough's enough. Can't do it this month or whatever. I'm waiting because I'm going to I'm going to do a video just for you, as in when I'm going to buy. I am going to buy. See that thing that you were looking at on the timeline. That guy is as sound as a pound. I swear to God, that guy sound as a pound. He built that company for his kids. That's what he built it for. He's got 2 kids, but it's his daughter that runs it more than him. But he actually, because she's not of age to run the company, he runs it. But it's her company, as in that guy that does the classics. But he doesn't build them. There's an outside source that builds them, and then he gets some. He orders them in big bundles, like 100 at a time. That's what we're saying. He's got 77. There's 77 in order, but the order doesn't come in to the 15th of February. I'm going to buy one. I am going to get one. It's got Pandora. It's got Pandora Alpha inside it. I'll let you see it when the thing. I'll put it on the big TV. I'll let you see what games is inside it. But did he give? What I want to know is, did he give you the list? Because that's what I was trying to find for you, was the list. Because I know there must have been a game that you were after that was on it. It's a 2-player joystick. They did one with 2. I was building the ones with 1. I've got one. I've got the buttons all built. I've got the buttons all built and the joysticks all built, but I need the other bit of it. And it's 40 odd quid. As I said to you, I'd need to charge you as in for the materials to build it, to finish it. But I'd rather a Pandora inside it, because the Pandora is on a board. It's an actual PCB board. And you just basically plug it in, because the Raspberry Pi is on SD. And the Everkids is, no, the Everkid, there's another machine that they built, and it's the same. And if the SD card goes down in it, if you don't fry it, it corrupts itself, and end up you've got to get the SD card done again. But as I'm saying, as soon as he gets it in, I'm going to do a phone call to him, as in do the credit card, do the phone, as in when I get my money in, my monthly money in, because it was 199, and that's it. He'll post it. It'll be wrapped up, properly done for sending it. If there's any problems, if it's faulty in any way, just send it him back. Just give him a phone call, and he'll sort it out. I started with that guy a while ago, because he started doing the bar arcade stuff, and he didn't know what was inside them. And I looked at one, and I'm like, I think I know what's inside that. And I was like to him, what's inside that? He went, I don't know. So, well, if you're building these, surely you would know what's inside them. That's how but I don't do negative stuff on anybody's stuff. I helped him out, and that's why I became a top badge fan. But I know the guy's as sound as a pound. His bar tops, he actually puts them in the van, and they've went to Dublin, they've went all over the them two, the lassie, when she's off for school, when she's got no school, she goes with them, as in they go and up in a hotel for a night or whatever, and they go so many miles. They went to Dublin, they've been all over the country with that van, the black van with the thing with the classic arcades on it. But it's his business, that's what he does. He specialises in them, but he doesn't build them. He's an outside source that builds them for him, and then they get them shipped in bundles. It was the last time they were showing the warehouse, how full the warehouse was with bar top, because they do a bar top one, and they do a retro cocktail table. Well, you still go, that's what I'm saying, although you put £30 in, right? I know that you've got a couple of things you still to get, right? Because you had 2 hikes to get, because you gave me part of the, because you weren't going to give me, because he goes, oh, but it's a present. I goes, well, give me 15 and I'll put the other bit to it. You'll still get them. I've put your money into the shipping pot fund, but I still owe you for 2. Because you've got 2 $8. Because there's 2 or 3 of them that's silver, and then there's 2 that's, or I think there's 3 that's no. Because if you look on Facebook, you'll see a thing saying about $8. That was Lincoln. Do you remember Lincoln Central? Do you remember Lincoln Central coins? Well, he was the admin for the $8 Facebook group. I'm in that. You can still join up to that group. Somebody ended up becoming admin, but that group is still open, and that's what he used to do with Save the Ikes. That's why he put it onto me, and Hidden buys a lot of Ikes, but Hidden's got a massive collection, but Hidden only show so much. Hidden's got a fantastic collection. He's nothing but the best. Because he went to Radio Rental, as Melissa was telling me about it. He bought some gold coin or something like that, and somebody was trying to say that it was fake, and he went off his nut. He done his nut in it because it was like 18 something. It's like 18th century, this thing, and he paid a lot of money for it. He paid good money for it. And somebody was telling him it was fake, and they were doing it to press buttons to see if he would react. And the guy's like, ha ha ha, and he's only a young kiddie. And Melissa went, worst thing he could have done. But he deleted all his videos of his channel because he gets like that. He's put a lot of content up, but he does good content. He knows what he's doing. If Hidden's bidding for something, you know there's something in it, but don't try and sort of jump over him. But he's got a thing about, Hidden's got a thing about pachyderms. He loves anything that's got pachyderm on it. And he took the huff with me one night because I had seen a pachyderm, and I was thinking about you because you kept saying to me, any silver coin you don't want, give me a shout. And I was like, I don't think Andrew's got a pachyderm in or that silver one in his collection. I was like, that'll be nice for his collection. And Hidden took a huff with me. Oh, I've got plenty for ding me if you want. And you just need to tell me what you actually need, or show me something, or send me a picture and say, have you got this? Because that was the whole idea, because I'm building a collection, my own private collection myself, and then any doublers, I'm like, well, what do I do with them? Do I sell them? Do I put them up to auction? Do I give them away? Is there somebody that maybe and somebody else that maybe like that in their collection that maybe I can trade with? Because I don't mind doing, see, a lot of people stopped doing swaps because they were getting bumped. As in, people are sending stuff and they were not getting their part, and that's why a lot of people stopped doing the trades and swaps. But I usually do swaps with people that I know that I can be vouched for, or I've dealt with them in the past, and I know that they're sound. Because it's like you've told me about something and you paid too much for that, and I was like, how much is that? I've been like to you, how much is that on eBay or whatever? I'm asking you to look that up. What is the going rate of that? What is it actually? Because I don't know enough about coins, or I know so much about coins, but I need a valuation in my head so I know, right, I know when to stop. Because it's like my dad used to say, it's like a bidding, it's like you go at an auction. He done it my old man done it one day with a car, and he just kept going like that, and I thought, fucking hell, he's paying strong money for that car, and I thought, there must be something about that car. He got carried away. He got carried away in the spur of the moment, and he didn't win it. Luckily, he didn't win it, but he just kept going with it, and I thought, Jesus hell, I thought, no way he'll get out of that by the time he's finished with that. And that's what my dad says, you can get carried away in the motion, the buzz, the adrenaline rush of as in winning, trying to win it. And I don't do that. There's certain things that I've seen me walk away. I've done it with phones as well. I dropped a lot of phones. It's when I cut a higher, and I went, too much. I don't want it. No, it's not enough for me. There's not enough. It's not that there's not enough profit in it. It's just that by the time I buy it, do it up or whatever, do the work that has to be done in it, and then to punt it again. I would take them to the pawn shop, Andrew, and see what kind of money they would give you, and work it for there. If you're really stuck, give me a shout. Because I would take them off you, as in if you were stuck for cash, and hold them until you're in the right frame of mind. As in to tell me, I'm like, I don't want to buy them and then have them and then keep them. I'd probably I'd help you, as in if you were that stuck, and then you could buy them back at what you paid for them. Do it that way, and I'd hold them. Because I don't know how long I'm going to hold on to this stuff. I don't know. I need space. I'm the same. I need the space. I need to clear some of the space so I can get other stuff out. Because I want to basically open boxes up I've not seen. Because I got a full load of stuff. But it's worth taking it to the pawn and see what kind of money they'll say as when you show them. Because they'll know that with pictures. You need to take them to somebody and actually pull them out and say to them, this is what I've got, for them to actually to do an evaluation. Or somebody that maybe comes to your house, somebody that you can, as in 100%. You're the same as me. You're that many angry as, and you've got this sort of collection, or you've picked out the ones that you sort of went, right, I'm keeping that I'm keeping that one, I'm keeping this one, I'm keeping that one. I'm the same. I'm like, because I'm like, what one's better than that one? I'm like, right, that one looks better than this one, but is that one good enough to sell? And I'm like, Maybe we need to do maybe we need to do what I said about a group or a full loadies, as in that just want to do like a USA auction, but on over in the UK, and do it for other ones that maybe are interested. Because there's got to be others that's interested in USA coins that's over in the UK. Because I know there's a guy up in Kilmarnock. I found him he's on eBay. I didn't know he was that close to me. Looked it up and found out he's in Kilmarnock. But he sells USA pennies. And all the USA pennies, but he's a pound. Puts them on for about £1 a time, but then there's about £1 odd in postage, $1.60 in postage and tap of that as well. Because you get it over for USA, you're talking about $11-12 just for a 1 cent. Put them on at 99 pence. You see the thing when you look under it says international postage $11.92. So that's £11 odd, and that was the whole idea of getting stuff over here. That's how I said to you, if you're going to go to the Durbans, or you're thinking about going to Durbans, because that's what I said to Polly. I've just said to Polly as well, if there's stuff that you're after, as in email me the day before, and I'll keep a watch it, and stuff that you actually need for your collection, and sort of give me a guideline of what the budget is, because I'll not run over the budget. I'll go underneath the budget, because I don't do that. I don't run stuff up. I'm not in there to run stuff up for them lot, because sometimes I feel like that's what I'm doing, running things up for them lot, and I'm like, I don't need to be doing this. I don't need to prove to anybody. I don't need to prove my worth to anybody. Well, eBay's doing a shipping program. It's all changed, Andrew. As when you put your credit card in it, and they take to do with eBay themselves. You can still use PayPal. Rob, you can still use PayPal. People can still pay in PayPal, but PayPal is totally separate now. eBay's doing it themselves. eBay actually pay you. They put it direct into a bank account, because I've got mine's logged into my other bank account for TSP, so it doesn't affect my main account in case there's any hassle. Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't do coins on. Mum says, well, why don't you just do coins? Because you only need to put on the year of it, and you can show pictures of it. You're less work to date it than what you do a phone. And I'm like, well, I can see your point. And I'm like, the channel was never really built for it. It was only just to get money back, or to buy. The whole idea of the channel was to buy and sell. And then I thought, is it really what I want to do? Am I going to really enjoy it? And am I going to, is there people, because that's like peanuts. I don't think I'll sell peanuts, but I like peanuts. I like it. There's peanuts. There's Snoopy on the, always the thing for Snoopy. Or Charlie, that's Charlie Brown. I always liked Snoopy when he sat on the top of the shed, and then you heard him with a stupid wee voice arguing with Charlie Brown. Puts me back in my. What do you need to start doing to start selling on eBay? Just make your account up, and then they'll deduct too small amounts out your account. But you can put PayPal on it, you can tag it onto, as in PayPal on it. But as I said, PayPal doesn't take anything to do with eBay anymore. eBay pay, if you're selling stuff on eBay, eBay pays it into your bank account. You need to put a bank account card and attach it to it. But they also do a shipping program, but you pay for the shipping program as well. It tells you all the bits. They don't charge you for having an eBay account. It's only when you sell stuff they'll take a percentage off you, as in the listing fees and all that carry on. They're doing like $1,000 a month or something like that now. You get 1,000 listings for free. The thing is, if I sell you an ounce coin, it means it takes it off of that thing, as in the first prize. I've only got a certain amount of stuff for that wheel, because that was the whole idea, Andrew. Make it fun so that we all joined in. Because I want people on the panel. I want star guests on the panel and all that carry on. I don't want to be emailing people and chasing people up. I'd rather them come to me and say, I want to be able to star on your show. I want to do this, I'm thinking of doing this. And for me to ring me say, well, I don't want the hassle like George has had and all the rest. George is nothing but fucking, it's mind boggling. George has told me about it, what's been going on and all the rest behind the scenes. I says that's ridiculous that people hounding him and all the rest. George is alright. George is lackadaisical. It's not that he forgets about, he doesn't, he sometimes it slips his mind as in certain things. And you've got to remember him, and he writes things down in bits of paper, and then he loses bits of paper. But if you bought something off of George and you say, look, George, I haven't got that, you haven't sent me that stuff, George will sort it out. George is fucking sound as a pound. But when he starts getting hassled, George loses interest in doing it and doing things on his channel. It's the same with me. I got upset when I see, it's like you see two people that you really support, and the two of them are going at loggerheads at each other, but you don't know the circumstances of why the two of them's arguing, and you're like, are they debating or having an argument? And you're like, and they bring you into that. They bring you into the full scenario, and he's telling you his side, the other one's telling you a different story, and you've got to pick as in who's right. And you're looking at the two of them thinking, I can bash the two of your heads together because I like the both of yous, but you want me to be piggy in the middle for me to choose who that I have to side with, who I've been aside. That's why I stopped all the carry on with Justin. I called it out exactly what he did because you were there and you said to me, you've not got that silver yet, which you were 100%. But I says to you, I don't want you involved in it. Sit in the sidelines now. I want your opinion of what I do in the situation and how to go about it without hearing it. But I had to eventually hear it to pick him up on it and say, look, I know I'm going to get fobbed off of you, but I didn't want on everybody's side. I didn't want on anybody's side, and I didn't want anybody taking sides or having to pick sides. I didn't want that. I don't like that in the con community. It rips a community. I see a community getting ripped apart. It's the same what happened with Small Engine Nations. I saw what happened. I was there on the Thursday. I'm sitting in panel on the Thursday, and at the end of the thing, with the end of the live, an argument broke out, and they're like, right, shut show down. And it went off for about a week, as in a full week, where there was no live stream to sort a difference out. But luckily I wasn't involved in it. But it was a shame to see the community, what happened to it. It got ripped apart because they carry on over it. And it gets me upset when I see that. It upsets me. It makes me emotional when I see it happening. And that's what I don't want happening with the coin community. Because a lot of people are standing up at the moment going, well, I didn't get stuff for him, he didn't get stuff for this person, this one didn't get stuff for here. But luckily it's not in the auctions that I go in, thank God. Because it's like somebody pulled me up and something, I went, oh shit, what did I just say? I'm like, and he's like, it came up, I was in spray cans, and I'm in the chat, and I mentioned somebody's name, and it come up, he's a thief. And I'm like, was that directed to me, or was it directed to somebody else? And then I went, hold on a minute here, and I went, oh shit, what have I just done? I stepped in a big hole and dug myself in it, and I went, oh fuck. And I'm like, so I emailed Spraycan, I says, look, I'm sorry what happened there. And he's like, I didn't notice that, like. And he's like, well, he's been square up with me. I was like, well, he's been squaring with me and all. I was like, so I don't know where this is coming from. I says, but I don't want involved in it. And that's why I don't want to mention a certain name. Because some people didn't get their stuff in, at the end, and he's not disappeared. He's sort of come about, but he's lurking about. But it's up to him to fix it. It's not me to fix it, because I wasn't involved in it. I was buying it off him. I get no part in it, because I lost a box as well at the end. But I'm not bothered about it, because I know eventually it'll get fixed out at some point. And I was like, if it's in your heart, I says to him, I emailed him and says, if it's in your heart to give it back, then you put it in my PayPal account. If you think that it's in your heart to give it back. It's like karma, what goes around comes around. As my mum used to say, you fly with the crows, you get shot with the crows. So if you're joined with somebody else, or you're friends with somebody, and somebody does something within that, you get tagged along by being an accomplice. And I tried to explain to everybody, it's nothing to do with me. I just bought stuff off the guy, same as everybody else. And I thought it was sound. I've never had a problem with the guy. Well, I never did until the last box, but he told me I lost the box. Whoa. Nothing you can do about it. Maybe it was lost. Maybe he sold. Maybe he sold it. I don't know. But I'm believing what he told me. He says he lost it. I'm taking that he lost the box, because I was partly at fault as well, because I should have just put it down with the shipment amount in his PayPal account, and says I've paid it. I paid the shipping, and he would send the box. So I was partly at fault, partly to blame, because I was waiting for the invoice sheets. Because usually what Diane does to me is, or the Durbins, once the box is built up, they'll send me another invoice sheet, which will just have, it'll say to me, you owe 75 or whatever it is. But when I go in to pay that invoice, it'll tell me shipping at the boat, mate. So I'll know, that's shipping, this box ready. Because I got a box down the stairs, I need to go and hide it before she comes back. She's due back Monday. She's due back Monday. So she is. She's actually telling me travelling on Sunday night to appear on Monday morning. I know he keeps in contact with us. Ozzy spoke to him a few times, and some people's get his phone number, but Laverne's not too happy with him. Laverne, the point. There's a few didn't get boxes or whatever they were to get at the very end when he was doing that, the putting stuff into, just grabbing bits and going and putting it in the box. Some people didn't get their boxes. Some people are not happy about the whole carry on. They think something's they're trying to point fingers at who the person is and who's got it, who belongs to it. Try to he's done it, she's done it, this one did it, that one put it up to that one. That's why I said I don't want Lemonhead's mentioned, his name mentioned. Because it'll start honestly, Andrew, it'll start you'll have people emailing you or whatever going, where is he? Have you seen him? Do you know what channel he's using? Leave the guy alone. If he's going to fix it, he'll fix it. He said that he was a straight guy, so I'm just taking that I know I haven't. That's what people says. You haven't got. That's what Laverne says. You haven't got an opinion. You can't comment. You haven't got an opinion. They think cause the thing we they think that I think he's the the sun shines at his arse. Well, the guy was fair to me. The guy was square as the day's long. I got my boxes all right. The only box I didn't get was the last box. So do you know what I mean? He explained it to me. I lost my thing. We lost my clays, and the box it got lost. I don't know much I lost. Don't know how much I lost in money. I wouldn't know. Don't know. I haven't a clue. And he's like, I'll pay you back. And actually I said to him, if it's in your heart to pay it back, then pay me it back. If you think that by rights that you should pay me it back, you pay it back. But I'm not going to start stressing somebody out and say, you owe me such and such and I want it tomorrow, or I want it within a month. Poor guys, I've been there. I've been there four times when I've hit rock bottom. I was lucky. Larry's brand new. Larry, Rob. It's just there's a time difference. There's a time difference way over there, way over here. It's like 8:42 over here. We've got to be up sitting at night time. Sometimes I go in and I see him, Larry, because Coimald Dingway gets on me, Larry. Larry used to send Coimald stuff when he wanted it. Fucking, I've done some mobile phones off this chair. They all fell in down the back. Fucking bastard. All over the place now. I know, Rob. I just wanted to do that mail call because I didn't know. I thought the one for Carrie Baxter was found at Burridge. Andrew, did you know that Andrew, did you know that Change Checker and now they've done the black rim $2, but the price for the price for the full roll is like, as in it says on the roll $50 value. They want another 15. They want another 15 tap. I don't see that's fair. It's the Canadian after Queen Elizabeth died. They done a black. It's a black. They call it a black rim. It's got a black rim, but it's not dark black. It's a $2 Canadian coin. I think it's got the polar bear. It's got the polar bear in the middle of it. They want Change Checker want $4.99. They want $4.99 each for that coin. But they've got a roll. It says on it. The roll says on it. It says it's $50. Correct, Rob. It's like a smoke effect. Exactly. It's a smoke effect. It's really well done. As when you look at it, I want to try and get two rolls, at least two. But I'm not paying what they want for them. But they wanting short of 100. I think so that makes it like, so it's face value. It's $2 coins, so there's $50 worth of coins in that roll. So there might be 25 coins in that roll, but they want like 99. So they want £100 for a $50 roll. If it was 70, see if it was less than 100, I'd take them. I would take them. but Perth Canadian won't. I can't get them straight for Canadian Perth Mint, but George says to hold back on them. George says hold back on them. I says I'd give between 70. If somebody can get me them, I'll give between 70 and 75 each. It's, I can't mean they call it a black. I can't mean if they call it a black nickel or whatever, but it's definitely it's a $2 coin, and it's got a black rim. I got an email because I've bought for Royal, and you know how I bought for Royal Westminster. Well, every bit of their stuff, you know how you've got 288 group. Well, they're all tagged together, and so is Change Checker. Change Checker sent me an email as in the promotion. You know how they send you promotional. Exactly, Rob. That's exactly what it is. It's a black toonie. They've called it something different. They've gave it a different name. A black nickel or something they called it. If I can get them rolls at 75, I'll buy 2 of them. So that's 140. It's 140 quid to lay out. Because I wouldn't mind a couple for exactly. Because I'm thinking, well, one to Andrew, one to Family Collects, one to Coin World, and then sell the rest of them. Or what today is, I'm thinking to myself, if people want them, if they pay the shipping cost, then it means then they've got them, because they will eventually, if they get released into circulation, or if they've been released into circulation, there'll only be a couple at a time. It'll not be a full load at a time, because there's about 25, at least 25, I reckon, in a row. Hold on, Rob, to pull the email up, because it's in here somewhere. I was looking for it the other day. I'll tell you what they called it, because it's definitely in Dingway, because it's on Change Checkers list. I don't know if they run under Change Checker, if I put it on Change Checker. Because I started Dingway up to the list. Because they'll do like a 20% off or whatever, but it's only. That's not that. That's changechecker.com. That's not the right one I'm looking for. What do they run under? Is it in promotions listing? Westminster. It's not under Westminster. It's not under Coin Club. Definitely on time. It was under Change Checkers lists. As in special promotions. How far back was it again? Hold on, Rob. I'm trying to go back to the list. Because you're constantly dealing with eBay and all the rest, because I'm with the Coin Club as well, because I started joining all the different ones to get the lists, because I wanted to see what the list was like, to keep on the lists. But I deleted a lot of the emails the other day. I'm sure it's under Change Checkers. I don't know if it'll be under promotions in my. under promotions. Maybe under promotions. Club Provident. No, it's not Provident. Oh, yeah, well either. Was it under change? Could it be under Coin Club? I don't think it was under Coin Club. I don't remember it being under Coin Club. It's not down there. It's... No, because I was looking. I goes, that shouldn't be in my list. And I was like, why is that down on my list? And I looked at it and I went, that's what because I sent the email as an email to George, as in that they'd sent me. Changechecker.org. Under changechecker.org. See, the thing is, the thing they caught they were under. See, it's Andrew. It'll not come up. See if you go into change checkers as in their UK one. It'll not come up. It'll not show up. As in, but it was definitely a change checker that was sending me the email, and showing me it. As in, I could actually see the pictures of it. As in an email, and they showed. You clicked the link, so I clicked the link to actually see that, and I was like, I'm not paying that for a full roll. I was adamant. I was like, I'm not paying £100. It's £100 for the thing, mate. It's £99 they want for a full roll, and I was like, no, I'm not paying that for a full roll. It was like, it's only the face value is $50. It says on it, it's clearly marked on the actual roll, the bank roll that it's in, and it says on it quite clearly $50 value. So how come if they deal with Perth Canadian Mint, right, and they produce it in Perth Canadian Mint, how come you can't buy it straight for Perth Canadian Mint? Why did it tell me that I had to contact a local dealer? That's they're selling them at $4.99 each. As in singly, you can buy them at $4.99 each. But you can buy a full roll, but they want £99. If I can get a roll of them for between 70 and 75, that's not including the shipping. Because I can get a deal for on Ontario, but George says to hold back on it. Because George is in Canada. George is somewhere in the Canadian vicinity. Because I got a guy, Lionel. I can go into Lionel, but I don't know Lionel. I don't know Lionel that well. Because Lionel's like, what are you getting at? He's like, in my timeline, he's like, I can get them cheaper. He's like, they're no silver. Lionel's got, does, as in he buys silver and then he melts it. Lionel de Grand. Lionel says in my timeline, he's like, what are they? What ones did you buy? And I was like, it's the coloured versions. I've got rolls. I've got £6 of stuff lying with George that I've already bought. George says hot fire. He was going to chop the loonies in and get toonies, a box of toonies. He's hoping to get the black ring ones. Because I was thinking about them, because I was like, well, if I can get a hold of them, I was like, I can punt them down there, or I can bring them out to the UK. I know John does, but John's just shipped to 710. 710's like, I don't want to do it for everybody else. He's like, but I'll do it for you. I was like, if you want and down me, I'll look after it for you. I'm one of these people that I'm not one of these guys that don't when my back's turned, don't stab me in the back. But if you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. And if you're doing me a favour and you say to me, by the way, I need such and such, or I need you to do something, as long as it's not costing me a lot of money, I don't mind helping. Or he's turning around and say, well, can you do me a favour? I've not got the money for shipping, but I'm holding stuff for you. Can you, as in, square it up with shipping? Aye, no problem. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. Especially if you're doing me a favour, because this carry on, I don't understand that if you're sending coins for whatever part of the country, right, and they're saying that they're not going to ship it, why? But the big companies are allowed to do it. So there's a rule for the big companies, but no us. That doesn't work in my book. I don't get that. So there's a different law for the bigger companies, for the larger companies out there. Why? Why is there two different laws? I don't get that. Because money's power. Because to them money's power. Is that it? So because you're as another account, but these big organisations, they have accounts on SOR. It's all on SOR. It's 90 days as in to pay an account. As in if you've got an account with say UPS, you pay on it. I think it's 90 days they allow for it to be paid on account, even for delivery shipping. I know John does. John's alright. That's why I started teaming up with certain people, because I'm like, hold on a minute, there's coins that maybe we're after that maybe somebody else will like. I just felt isolated for a long time, and I was like, I was hitting depression, and I knew it was coming, and I was like, usually when I take a breakdown, I end up, it's like a mental breakdown. I just break down, and I don't want to, as if I want to just lie in a heap, no move, because I feel like my hands has been tied. If I'm not using my hands, I feel as if That's what I said to my ex as well. I says, it feels as if somebody's cut off my hands and says, you can't, they're not allowed to do anything. And I was like, my hands is tied. It's as if he put a set of handcuffs on me, dragging me somewhere. And I'm like, what have I done? Why you doing this to me? My hands is my livelihood. I've done it all my years. I used to clean cars. That's what I did. I was good at it too. I worked for a guy for 5 years, 7 years. That's all we did. Second-hand vehicles, used vehicles. My dad was the main gaffer on the shop floor. My dad's like, well, you're not staying in bed all day. Coming out with me. Hey, you, fucking move your arse. That's what I'm saying. I've done confectionery round. I did a newspaper round. I did mine door-to-door sales. I've done car boots. I've worked market stalls as well, which was me and my father. My father was an alcoholic and didn't realise it. Couldn't admit it to himself. He was an alcoholic. Once the old man had died, I was like, I'm gonna do what I said I was gonna do years ago. I'm gonna own my own business, but I don't do it for profit. I do it for the fun. I got a kick at it. I got a buzz at it. I'm not here to rip. The whole channel was never about to rip anybody off. If you turn stuff in volume or whatever, somebody else wants it, somebody else can use that. Well, you have it. You can only hold on to something for so long, and you get fed up by looking at it and you go, did I really want that? Did I just buy it because it was comfort buying at the time? And you're like, will I keep it? Will it appreciate in value? It's like when I had to turn that £50 note in, I didn't want to turn that in. Really, I didn't want to turn that in. But it was like, well, if I can't sell it or I can't get back to the bank, turn it into the bank and get my £50 back for it, I was like, that means it's obsolete, so you're going to take it off me. If I took it into them, you're going to take it off me. So I've lost 50 quid. I was like, I don't think so. I might as well turn it in. But it might appreciate it in value because it means then that there's very little left. Because when they take them back in, they're supposed to burn them. It's the same with the pound coins and the circulation that's in circulation now, and it gets taken out of circulation, and then they stamp a date. It's an expiration date. It's got to be turned in by to get your face value back out it again. So if there's very little left, that means that then that coin becomes rare. A coin isn't rare until there's less of it. The same as what happened with Ford Escort cars. There was less in the country. They produced 500 or 1,000, between 500 and 1,000 cars probably a year, or more than that per year. And when they done the scrappage scheme, they took 11 or 12-year-old cars off the road and gave you a scrappage scheme that they were allowing you up to. But some of the older cars were appreciating value, because that's what me and George were talking about, as in about phones. He was saying to me about the older phones. He says they appreciate in value, but the smartphones, they drop in value, they depreciate because they're new generation. So if Ford Classics, because there was a car that was was supposed to be a barn find, and it done about 80 odd thousand pounds or something like that. one is Sarah Cosworth with I don't know if it was a replica or a genuine XR4. I can't remember if it was an XR4i or a Cosworth. It was put into a certain auction and they showed it on Facebook, the actual at the auction. And basically the Stewart was about, must have been about, probably about that thick on it. And they were just basically just kept going with it, as in whoever wanted to buy it. But Ford Escorts or Fords have went up in price. They've appreciated in value. That's what I'm saying. How can something be called rare if there's only one or two of it? Because I see that a lot used on eBay. Rare. How can it be rare unless there's only a couple left of them or very little of them? Because you can easily look at the production date or go back on a specification sheet, look in a specification sheet, and it should tell you exactly how many was produced of that certain object. Because some of the Ford stuff, as in the more luxury ones, like the ones that they built like the Fiesta Popular, then they done a Fiesta Festival, then they done an XR2i. Some of them are more luxurious, and some of them are more rarer. Some of them command between 5,000 up to 12,000 £12,000. Because Ali just put Ali sold that Roger, the Rover 820. I think it was an 800 series. He put it into auction. My old man used to study was cars. Cars was half his life. And when me and Dad when we came in for the garage, Mum didn't want to hear about cars. But two of us would just talk amongst ourselves, me and Dad. And Mum had no interest in it at all. And it wouldn't be like me and him arguing. We'd go through cars as in through memory. And Mum would be like, "You bringing work home, these?" That's because we were into cars. Cars fucking daft. But he studied cars. That's what he did, was study cars. And he could tell you as in what was what and what was done and how, what year it was. You could go back right to Cambridge, as in back to Wolseley's and Cambridge's and all that car. And I was like, and then he would maybe say you were watching a movie and he would tell you exactly what model that was that they'd used in the film and all that car on. He was right up, Dalman was right up in that. He was fucking clued right up. It was something else. It was. I remember him when he get told about eBay, and he's like, he asked the exact same questions as Andrew just asked, and he's like, "How does eBay work? Do we have to pay a fee for eBay?" And then when he found out it was for free, and then Bob says, "But it's not free when you sell stuff." My old man says, "Well, what's the fees on it?" He says, "You probably need to go and look at it. I think it's like less than 100. I think you take off like, I think it's like 3% or something like that, and then after 100 it goes to, I think, 5% or something like that, and then when it gets to 1,000, I think it's something like 7 or 10% or something like that. You take off it." There's actually breakdown sheets if you look at paperwork. I never read paperwork. I'm terrible for paperwork. Hardly even read it. I say I don't even read the emails. I'm not interested in these big companies, but when something comes out, you're sort of thinking about it and you're like, should I take it? If I bought it now, would I make money at it? Would I actually make a bit of profit at it? Even if it's a couple, I'm not talking about as in a big profit at it. I'm more talking about a small profit margin in it. Even if it's £2 more than what you've actually paid for it. And then you think about it and you go, is it worth taking it? Is it worth taking a chance on it? Because I sort of do at auction, I sort of see a coin and I'll be sitting there and I'll be watching it to see if anybody else bids on it. And I'll look at it and think, is it something I'd like in my own collection? And then I start thinking, well, if it's at auction, it's about less than quarter of retail value that coin at auction. Now, why is it auction in the first place? Because it's going to the highest bidder, or trying to get to the highest bidder. But I like the way Joe works, because if he feels that they're paying too much for something and he's got more of that in stock, he'll stop the bidding and put it back a couple of pound. And I like that idea. But then you're thinking to yourself, if I have a full roll, am I going to use the full roll? Am I actually going to open a full roll? What am I looking for in the full roll? Am I looking for an error of the coin itself? Am I looking for a variety of the coin? Or am I looking for one that I think would be up to the grade of what PCGS would accept, or if I sent it to Annex and it would get better valuation as in being in a slab. But then you're thinking, well, how much have I got to pay for it to get it slabbed in the first place? And then how long is it going to take till it comes back? And then when it's in a slab, are you going to hope that it doesn't delaminate or delaminate itself while it's in the slab? I bet you Andrew's a way to down me look at emails or try to down me find that. I know it's definitely in my tablet somewhere. I can't pinpoint it now. I know it was 2-3 weeks ago. It must have been about 2 weeks ago or something like that. Maybe 3 weeks ago. They sent an email saying about it. I just didn't take any notice of it, and then I happened to be deleting my emails to clear space, to clear storage. And I was like, right, which ones do I want to delete? And I stopped it and I opened it up and I looked at it and I thought, that's actually not bad looking, that coin itself. And I thought, but I don't want to pay. I'm like, well, how many do I want? And then I went, well, if I want enough for to give away in the channel, my own channel, as in the others, I went, wouldn't it not be cheaper for me just to buy a roll of them? And then when I seen what they were asking for the roll, I was like, nah, I'm not paying that for that. So you're telling me it's cost you an extra. So they've produced it in Canada and then changed checkers, flown it to wherever they're based. So you're telling me that they've paid another 30% on that, and then you get 20 for VAT, then you get 20% for VAT, 20% for VAT. So they put the VAT on top of that as well as whatever they paid for the shipping cost to get it out of wherever they had to get so that they had it in stock. Because they're all party when it's because the Commonwealth, we're in the Commonwealth countries, or before we pulled out the EU, the European Union, because that's why it's called EU, European Union. So they were tagged with all these different minting processes, or the minting productions, or the minting places, but they say that they're separate. But it's showing links to go to that website. So you're saying that you're not part of that group. So why are you selling another website stuff if you're not entangled with it in some way or shape or form? So you're telling me that when I went to order stuff for that Perth Canadian Mint, that it wouldn't let me because it said, as in, we don't ship to that part of the continent, contact your local coin dealer. So I've got to go through a third party to get the coins that I want off a Perth Mint, Perth Canadian Mint. But you've got that link attaching on your website, because it says use other links, because there's 5 of them, 5 different links. Because it's got Queen Elizabeth on it, they're saying that the thing with that's all right for it to come into this country. But you still want profit on the coins. But if you went to a bank, they ask you, well, if you're profiting for the coins, you need a business account. So it's not a personal account anymore. So it's a business account because you're profiting for the coins. But if you're not profiting for the coins, it's all right to have a personal account, but they'll let you take coins out. I don't get all that. I don't get that. But it's all right for them. It's all right for them to do it, but not for anybody else to do it. That doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't make sense to me either. That's what I'm saying. I sit and think about things. I always do. I always have done. I always sit and think about something before I go away and do it. And then the only thing that lets me down is it's like Melissa said, don't keep thinking of the what ifs of it. Go and do it. Because the what ifs then end up become doubts in your mind, and then you don't do it at all. Which she's right. If you have an idea, run with it, because the idea might work. But sometimes you need a second opinion of what you think to somebody else. How would it sound to somebody else? The idea that you have in your head. You want to clarify as in to see if there's any doubts in it before you even start. Because if you went to go a business plan, it's like you have to do your homework, your research for to get a loan saying that you're going to make X amount of pounds on whatever niche you want to do. So you've got to show them figures saying, well, this is going to make a profit and this is what's going to happen in the next 6 months. But it's only an idea that you've thought up. But the plan might be different to the way of what happens, even though that you put the plan onto paper. I need to shut up. Sometimes I give, as Dad says, sometimes I give too much information away. Too much information. Sometimes you run away with that without thinking about it. You get somebody shot. Because that's what Dad's tell her, my ex-partner, and I thought, I wish you hadn't fucking said that, Dad, at all. You need to watch his mouth, because then he get you hung, he'll get you hung. But I don't mean to do it. It's no intentional. I don't do it intentionally. I'm just thinking about it out loud because I'm interested. I'm curious. If I did it that way, what would happen? What would happen if I did it that way? Does it sound feasible to somebody else that it could be done and it may be possible? To clarify the doubts out of my mind before going away and doing it. Instead of just running with it and hope it works. It was like they deliver out t-shirts. I remember putting them. I remember when I first bought them. Because I didn't work for the company. I bought them at a car boot sale for £8 each. So I put some on eBay. Because they're brand spanking new, still in the wrappers. So I takes one out of the wrapper and I puts it on eBay, and I put them on about 3 times, and I was getting to the stage where I was like, forget it, it's not going to work. And then I did an idea, and I was like, done 3 for 2 or something, 3 for 2 or something like that. This idea, 3 for 2, 15 quid or something like that. So but I think about 5 each or something like that. I'd bought them for like a full box of them. It was like medium. I think it was medium, some large. I don't think there was any smalls. It was medium. I think it was medium and extra large. And that was it. It was in the box. This is much you want for the box, mate. So I was like £2 each or something like that. Or £3 odd or something. At a car boot sale. I said, what you want for a full box? I said, well, what would you want to give me for them? She said, I want £12 for the box. She says, can you not do better than that? She says, well, bottom line's, I think, a tenner. I said, leave them. I walked away. And he says, well, I'm going away home, mate. So I'm packing up in an hour or something like that. I says, I might be back, and it was a nice day. So I walked down the bottom of the aisle, and I was talking to somebody else. I stopped talking to him, and I walked back up again. I says, will you take for that box? And he's like, much will you give me for it? I was like, well, what's in the box? I was like, is there any small in the box? And he's like, I don't think so. So he's took a quick look through it, and he's like, no, there's no small. And I'm like, all right. I says, well, is there a selection? I says, a medium and extra large. He took a look through, and he's like halfway down. And he's like, there's XLs. He's like, but I don't know how many there is. He's like, and I can't be bothered counting them. Much will you give me for a full box? I went, well, I need the box to get him home. Because I don't drive. He says, well, much you give me for them? I said, I'll give you £8. I'll give you £8 for them. I'll give you £8 for them. And I brought him home. And I'm looking at him, I'm thinking, will they sell? I won't know. I kept looking at him. I thought, well, me and Dad, I said, we need t-shirts. I says, but I'm not going to wear them all. I thought, what the hell am I going to do with all these? And I thought, I put one of them on eBay, and I'll display it. I'll take it out of the packet, because I want them, because you couldn't see the Deliveroo. I'm wearing one now, Deliveroo. And I thought, well, sort of simple design, because the more simple it is, but because it's got a kangaroo on it, and I thought, well, that looks quite cute. I says about a kangaroo. I says appeal to people with animals, and I thought they're quite good label as in the t-shirts themselves. So I stuck them about, I think, £15 each or something like that, and as in I buy it now or something like that. And I never got a call from them. And the next week, because I hadn't sold them, eBay say you can get free relisting. So I put them on a second time, but I dropped the price slightly. And it still didn't shift. But the third time I thought, these are not going to sell. I thought, what am I going to do with them? So I'm looking at them and I thought, what if I did a medium in XL? I thought, I says, but throw a bonus one. So they buy two, and they get a third one free, a third one free. I thought, I stick them on at a starting price of 15, something like 15 quid. See the amount of inundating ding me messages I was getting. My God, I must have been getting them like every 3 days. Can you drop the price a bit? How many do I get? I says, well, you get two, and you get an extra. I'm flinging in an extra one, as in for the price. What will you take for just the one? So what kind of money you want to pay? Guy turned around and says, if you do the postage, I'll give you £8. I was like, well, can you not do a bit better than that? I said, well, what I'll do, I says, if you're gonna just want the one, I says, what size do you want? I says, I've got medium and I've got extra large. I says, but if you pay me a wee bit more, I'll give you two instead of one. Fucking cunts are taking fucking thing. I thought that box was costing me like next to nothing by the time I was finished. And I still ended up with about fucking 8 of them left or something like that by the end up. That's what I'm saying, a simple design, because I'm like, maybe, and I'm thinking to myself, maybe it's my eBay, maybe it's because I sell phones and I ding me, and that's what's killing it, because I don't sell anything else bar phones, and I'm like, maybe that's the cause of it. If I can find that email and you've not looked it up and you can't find it, because it should be when you go into as in a Google search, it should be in there, because they done it. It's black. The reason why they made that black rim was for black remembrance, because she died as in the morning of black. Because that's what it looks like there. That's it there. But that's what I'm saying. It says on it. It says 50. It says 50, 58, 58, 50S. EN $2, because that's all it is. It's a $2 coin. $59, $59, $57. Because that's how much it is when it's converted into, because it says that one said in stock, but that's not including shipping, and then you get your 20% VAT on top. They're only 49. If you put 59, if you put 59.97 into 59.97 into exchange it into for dollars to pounds, it's only 49.76. So how the hell can they put a retail the retail value of 99 pound? So that's a 10%, at least a 10% markup on top, just for a roll. But then you got to think about the shipping cost, as in to get it out here for wherever it's coming from originally. Because that's why I said to George, I'd give between seven. I said I'd be willing to pay between 70 and 75. Because George went like that. He says, I would, if you were to pay that, he goes, I would do it as that. He says, I would put that with the shipping in with it. He goes, I put the shipping cost into that. He's like, if you were willing to pay that for them, I goes, well, I would guess between 70 and 75. So that's £20 more if they're only worth face value of 50. But as in, if the longer you leave them, the more desirable they become, because everybody wants them, because they're saying that they're going to put them into circulation. But how long will it take for them to put 10,000 or whatever 20,000 into circulation? How long is it going to take? It's the same with the King Charles. You're going to get a set. If I didn't put a set in the last time, as when I sent you them, you definitely have set in, as in the blue nose dimes. They're the blue nose dimes ones. They did do a set of sailing boats as well, as in, but it's totally different date. They're 2021s. That's the date that's on them. They were special wraps. I opened a set of special wrap set because I was like, somebody wanted them and ding me, and I sold 6 of them to Brissy. Brissy took 6 of them and I sent them to Australia. I says to him, don't give me the money until you receive them. And Brissy says, I'll pay the shipping cost. He says, whatever the shipping cost is, just send me the invoice sheet or send me as in showing me exactly how much you paid, and I'll square you up. And he's like, I'll give you $2 a coin, because I goes like that to him. I says, would you pay £2? He went, how much is that? And I went, I don't know. How much is that converted as in £2? Andrew, don't worry about you look after you look after the channel, right? As a moderator, right? You're always there when I need you, as in when I feel it, as in when I'm down, right? So I'm not interested in the money, as in you get your bits and pieces. You've done me a good turn, as in a few times before, as in you bought stuff off me. Once you, that's what I'm saying. I treat you as in a lot more, as in people selling those rolls for 200 a piece on eBay. Aye, around 10. They want to ring me, Rob. They want $5.99. They want $5.99 at Change Checker. Change Checker's selling them individually as in $4.99. That's what they want, $4.99 each. I was like, no. I was like, I'd rather buy a full roll. If there's say 20 or say 40 coins in it. As long as I get, if I pay 140 and I get half of that back, I'm quite happy. But if people want no coins and they say that you definitely want them, and then they turn around and say, well, we don't want to we don't want to pay you any more for them face value. Why not just down me as and put money into a shipping pot fund? As because I've got a PayPal set up on this channel. It says when you go to donate in it, it'll say as in pay monthly. Just don't even take any notice of that. It was them that set it out. You can actually put in as little or as much as you want in that account. But if I see somebody paying, say, £20-30, I'll make sure that they get a good, they get a good amount of package in a package. I'll make sure it's well over that. The value is what they paid in. Because I don't agree with as in somebody paying as in money for nothing. That doesn't work in my book. It's like us, as in we've got to think that it's a good charity organisation to put any money in a bucket. Okay, YouTube's got this thing about as in when you become monetized, when you can become monetized, you can put this S shape onto your channel and you can get super chats, but they take a percentage off of that. But I don't see why anybody should subscribe or join a channel as in if they're getting nothing out from the channel. Okay, you're getting information that other people don't let you have, but you can easily research it. You can go away and research it easily. I sold some for a charity auction. I know. That's why it overwhelms me. It overwhelms me, Rob, seeing that being done as in a charity auction or whatever, or somebody helping somebody else out. But how many times has the coin community helped people out, and it's been a load of bullshit, and it's been a load of bull. Because they see that it's money orientated, they make up excuses as in that it's untrue, it's unfallible. But you're not going to discredit somebody and say that they're talking bullshit out their arse. I bought some off of Andrew. I done a deal with Andrew, and he'd quite some nice dimes. There was some nice dimes, really pretty ones too. And I bet you any money he sourced them off the right person as well, because he was buying a hell of a lot at one time. Because I didn't want to go into the same. It wasn't because I didn't want to be there with Andrew into the same auctions. It just didn't feel right as no forbidding somebody else that's in Scotland or in England. You could probably email and say, look, by the way, I seen you buy such and such. I wouldn't mind telling me buying that off you, give you an extra £2 on that. Because that's a case, that's exactly what it's a case. But put it this way, if you saw a man starving out in the street, would you leave him that way? Would you kick? It's like you going out and seeing an animal sick. Would you go out and fucking start kicking it while it's done? No, you wouldn't. You get something down me, you'd either feed it a piece or whatever to see it eventually stand on its feet. My old man was animal daft, animal crazy. I didn't know you had a roller walkers. Because that was the whole idea of the channel. It was like having content and getting something back and putting something on the table. And I was like, well, what can I put on the table to give you back? Because the supporters, if you hadn't supported the channel would never have got up to 1,000. It's the same as when you, as and said, you're short of a couple of subscribers. Everybody rallied round to give you that help, to give you that bit of moral support. Say your content's good, and even I've told you that when you dare spread, even though that big fluff bug ends up appearing, you see it coming round, as and you see the tail as a big fluff master, but you still do it well when you speak about your collection. You do it well when you open up the collection. And I like the cases you've got when you open them up. It's like 3 levels. Everybody talks about FB. Even my source talked about FB Marketplace, but I'm a bit wary of a Facebook itself. I get people's friend requesting me, and I'm like, I don't even know you. And then I've got women that try and friend request me. I'm like, who the fuck are you? I don't even know you. Andrew, I would try a pawn shop first and see what they were going to offer you. Find out what they're going to offer you when you take them in, when they do a valuation, because they'll either do it in front of you or they'll take them behind the scenes and they'll come back with a price. They'll go and look it up. They'll research them a bit and then come back to you and say, well, we'll give you that. I know they will, Rob. They will lowball them. They'll be about a third of their value. Dad was always taking stuff into pawn. He used to use Harvey Thompson's. They're always running things in and out. He took a ring one day, a 1960 piece something, when we were on holiday, and he was jumping at the bit to tell everybody. He got I was like £210 for the ring or something like that, but it was an old piece. I was back in the 1960s. See, this is when you say junk in the UK, it means it's fit for the bin. It's fit for junk, as when you say junk, but their junk over in the USA is different, a lot different to your junk. It's like stuff that they think, oh, we'll only shift, and they go, bucket, that's the bucket, that's the bucket, that's the bargain basement bucket, it's in there. Go and search through that bin. But many of them's pulled a bin, as many of their local LCS went into the bin and found umpteen things, and they went, that shouldn't be in the bin. It amazes me. It really does amaze me, as in the presentation of somebody, what somebody's got, and you go like that. Nah, they're like, it's just modern junk. It's just modern junk. They throw it as if it was like nothing to them. Modern junk. what you're saying there, Andrew, is it's a grey area, that one, as in about melting. It's a grey area, that one. It's one of the ones. It's a yes and no, because it's no your currency. So it could be, but you would need to sort of do a bit of research on it to make sure that you're no violating any kind of law or any kind of law. I would check it. I would check that one up, because I do know there is people out there that they melt certain things, as in they do it off the cuff, but they won't say they do. Because my old man used to melt it. He used to go up with Robs somewhere in the town or something like that. And they used to take the scrap gold, and they used to melt it. But I used to make fucking beautiful things too. I don't know if it was Robert was making them or whether it was my mum was making them, but my mum was quite good with a bit of metal. I gave him a blowtorch or a blowtorch. Do things that you'd never seen before. Done it one day with a pound gold and a pound coin. A bit of gold, and he didn't have enough of the gold. And he went like that, he hung me, he sat there like that, and he whacked it with a hammer, started whacking it with a hammer, and put it in a crucible and he says, I wonder how hot this is going to be. He sat with a blowtorch like that, I'm talking full melt, and went like that with a pound coin, sat it right on top with a pound coin, like that with a blowtorch in the crucible to melt it, to smelt it into the gold. He took it to somebody, took it to a thing, mate. Did he take it to one of the big companies? He took it to a guy in the Brigget and sold it. About 2 months later, the guy found out that fucking there was half a pound coin in the middle, in the bloody middle of it. My mum got up to queer things at times. Sometimes I've had people that's turning and show you a roll of walkers or whatever, and they go, "That's $200. That's $200 or $155," and you look at it and you go, you're scratching your head and you're going, "Would I get that back for them?" And you think to yourself, if I sold them individually, how much will they sell for per coin? And then you're like, is it worth buying them? Andrew will probably know, because he done it with the same with the dimes. He done a deal with me with trade. I gave him the meal. I think it was like a 1 ounce round coin or something like that. And he goes like, I think it was like £110 or something like that. And I goes, well, you deduct that half of that, and I got a full load of the ones with the. I always think about them as Mercuries, because they've got the helmet with the wings on them, the wings on them. He gave me different dates, and I took certain ones out. I took the nice ones out, and then whatever I didn't need, I put them in a tube. But I don't. If I don't like something, I'll tend to. I'm like, nah. There was only two. There was two that I got off, or when I got them off Andrew, I went through them, and I think it was only three that were sort of. I wouldn't say they were probably F grade, but they were sort of black and tarnished. I was like, I don't like them. But the rest of them were all beautiful. Every one of them were beautiful. Hold on, let me see. I think these might be them. I'll show you a set of dimes off Andrew. Hold on. Front camera. I'm only going to touch the. That's what I'm saying. That's the quality. That's the quality. That is the quality at Andrews. As in I got off Andrew. Andrew traded him because I was like, how much you want? And he's like, I need to go away and think about it, Alec. And then he come back and he's like, well, I was like, aye, I'll have him. Because I sorted them out as in the ones with the between the flying ones and the non ones. I don't know if the ones with the angel wings is up here or not. Try to not fucking touch them. I hate fingerprints on them. I'm just proving a point here because Andrew's mod. Andrew could come up on the panel if he really wants, as in I've never turned around and says he couldn't. I'm just showing you as in the quality of the dimes that I got off of Andrew the last time. I wouldn't say somebody cleaned them. I never touched them near the Andrew. That's the way they came. But I'm not saying they haven't been cleaned because they could be as in way back. Anybody that tells you a coin has they been touched, they don't know its history. That's fine, Rob. I just thought it was worth showing, as in if Andrew's saying that he's wanting to sell stuff. Because we still maintain that that's a pig in a log. That's a pig in a log. If you look at it, it could be, but it looks more like a hatchet. It looks more like a hatchet. But if that was because that's a tree or a branch. But it could be more a Viking thing, like a Saxon back in the days. But people swear that it looks more like a pig. It looks more like a pig because if you look at it, there's where there's a dent. It looks like an ear, and there looks like a mouth on it. And there would be its two legs where it's going into the log. Because we laugh about it. Well, I think that's it, guys, because the thing it's nearly 9 o'clock. I think it's time to Sky Joe Rocket. No, but at the end of the day, Andrew, you need a starting price or a starting place. So if it was, that's what I'm saying. if it was me, I would, because my mum turned around and says that, why don't you take stuff up a box or a couple of boxes up to Great Western auctions and see what they'll give. Because I got a guy, a guy, Ian, but he only works there. He doesn't own the auction hall. It belongs to that thing me, that wee Scottish woman. I can't fucking mind her name now. It'll come to me when I'm not thinking about it. Always does. Anita Manning. That's what I'm trying to think. Her name. Anita Manning. Anita Manning's sale room at Great Western. But I don't want to do that. I don't want to have to go and do that. Do, 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 do. Do, do, do. Do, 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 do. Do, do, do. Bye guys, I'm me. See you later, alligator.